Look at all that fish. There's still fish in the pot. There's no room in the totes. There's no room in the pot. The deck's full of fish.
A terrible accident on Deadliest Catch has struck again, with the unforgiving Alaskan Sea claiming another captain. Captain Jake Anderson is the latest to fall victim to these brutal waters, where every wave and gust of wind carries life-threatening danger. How many more brave souls will the sea take before the risks become impossible to ignore? We will explore the powerful story of a person who defied the seas and lost his life, the hidden crowds on the open ocean. On Deadliest Catch, the fishermen might look like they're alone out there in the vast ocean, but that's not really true. The ocean is actually filled with lots of boats. While the show might make you think these men are all by themselves, they are in fact surrounded by hundreds of other boats, all hunting for crabs to make money. This tough competition for catching crabs isn't shown much on TV. Sig Hansen's time on the show demonstrates how someone famous can handle their public image well, keeping their personal and professional lives under control. This is quite different from Josh Harris, who sought fame without thinking of the consequences and ended up in legal troubles. Sig shows us the importance of being careful about how we handle our public image, especially when moving from a private life to being in the public eye. Before we dive deeper, the truth is far more complicated than it seems, and what we uncover next about these captains will leave you questioning everything. Sverre Hansen and his dad Sigurd, originally from Karmøy, Norway, moved to America in 1958 and started fishing for apilio crabs, also known as snow crabs, in the uncharted Bering Sea. Their groundbreaking work allowed them to fish all year and open new doors for themselves and other fishermen, making crab fishing seasons profitable. Their efforts have greatly improved the incomes of Sig and his fellow fishermen, particularly during the challenging apilio season. Over time, Deadliest Catch has grown into a show that features various crab seasons: the regular king crab season, the less common Bertie crab season, and the most perilous, the apilio crab season. But the hardest part is something else. The Discovery Channel sends 2 camera crews to live on the ships for 5 weeks. These crews share the same space and face the same hardships as the fishermen, with no chance to take a break. Unlike other reality show crews who can step away, those filming Deadliest Catch have to keep going for 6 months straight. This forces the camera crews and fishermen to constantly share their living and working space. Interestingly, the fishermen on Deadliest Catch don't deal with the same pressures as other fishermen. Typically, fishermen have limits on how much they can catch, which affects how much money they make. If they catch less than the limit, they earn less. But on Deadliest Catch, the main goal is to film the show. The fish they catch is just a bonus, so they can sell it for cheaper prices, which might upset other fishermen who rely on higher prices. But there's something else that often gets overlooked by those not used to spending time at sea. Ship captains are well aware of how the moon affects the ocean tides. During events like the supermoon, these effects are much stronger. The gravitational pull of the moon makes the tides higher and the seas rougher. In 2018, during a supermoon, Jake Anderson described the sea as incredibly rough, and Wild Bill confessed his fear. Despite the dangers, that night ended safely, highlighting the unpredictable nature of such natural events. The changing climate adds another layer of challenge for the fishermen. As the waters off Alaska get warmer, crabs move to colder, deeper waters, away from their usual spots. This forces the fishing boats to follow the crabs into more dangerous areas, raising the risk of accidents. These areas are far from any help, making any emergency more critical. Although these changes affect the show, the producers choose not to focus on the bigger environmental issues. Moreover, there's some doubt about how much of Deadliest Catch is real. Unlike traditional documentaries that capture events as they happen, Deadliest Catch sometimes has to reshoot scenes. The most dangerous scenes are captured live, but other scenes might need to be redone to meet the director's demand for a perfect shot. This raises questions about how genuine the show is. There are also claims that some of the drama is planned beforehand, similar to other reality shows, to make the show more engaging but perhaps less truthful. This staging can make viewers wonder about the authenticity of what they're watching, as the show seems to prioritize entertainment over factual storytelling. The coldness of the sea reaches beyond the weather, deeply affecting those who work on its waves. What looks like good money hides the truth about low pay and struggles, especially when outsiders take most of the rewards. The uneven rewards of fishing on TV. In Alaska and the Aleutian Islands during autumn, workers take on king crab fishing, a very risky but important job featured on Deadliest Catch. Despite facing harsh sea conditions, the money made by local Alaskan fishermen is surprisingly low. These crabs are sold all over the world, including big catches in Russian and international waters. Yet despite this international trade, the local workers from the recent season of the show made less than $7,000 each. The financial records from the Alaska Film Office show a clear difference in earnings between locals and outsiders. Workers from outside Alaska earned together $1.3 million, a stark contrast to the modest earnings of the local crew. This wage difference is seen between just 8 local crew members and 35 workers from outside, highlighting a significant wage gap within the same industry. This shows the tough realities faced by those who work the seas off Alaska, battling not only the physical elements, but also economic hardships that come with such demanding work. The financial support the state gives to the TV show Deadliest Catch shows just how much the government is willing to back these kinds of projects. In the latest season, the state gave around $691,000 in incentives to the producers. They reported spending about $285,000 on transportation and shipping within the state, and another $231,000 on food and places to stay. Yet even with these big costs covered by state aid, local Alaskans only earned $44,000, while people from outside the state took home a whopping $1.3 million. In that season, the state's support even increased to $786,000. This situation takes place in an industry that's undergone big changes since 2005. That's when they switched to a catch share system in crab fishing, which was supposed to make the industry safer and more regulated. Before this change, many boats would rush out during the short winter seasons to grab as many crabs as they could from the Bering Sea. The new system gives each boat a certain amount of crabs they're allowed to catch over a longer period, which has helped make things safer and cut down on the wild competition. Since this shift, the physical dangers have somewhat decreased, with only 1 life lost compared to the earlier high-risk conditions. However, the real fight now is with the economic challenges local workers face. The high-profile nature and adventurous portrayal of their jobs on international television don't actually help improve their financial situations. The show draws viewers and profits, but the local fishermen, whose lives and efforts are broadcast, continue to struggle economically. This highlights a broader issue. The profits from displaying the tough lives of Alaskan crab fishermen mostly benefit people outside the community, leaving the actual fishermen with little. As the show continues to display the severe conditions and bold nature of crab fishing in Alaska, the underlying economic disparities stay mostly hidden from the audience, overshadowing the true story of those battling the cold winds and icy waters for minimal pay. Crab fishing in Alaska is notorious for being extremely dangerous, with a death rate that's 80 times higher than that of an average job. Reports suggest that typically, 1 crab fisherman loses his life every week during the peak fishing seasons. Despite this alarming statistic, there have been improvements in safety, credited to changes in industry practices. Bill Prout, an experienced crab fisherman from Kodiak, points out these improvements, particularly the ability to choose safer weather for fishing, which has undoubtedly saved many lives. Lance Farr, who comes from a family of crab fishermen spanning 3 generations, also notices improvements, especially in managing sleep deprivation, which used to be a common issue. He attributes these positive changes to the Catch Share program, a regulatory measure aimed at making the profession safer. Cale Garcia, a longtime crabber, agrees, humorously noting that the real-life risks are now so mitigated that any remaining danger is mostly left for television dramatization. He comments on the transition of Bering Sea crabbing from one of the most dangerous jobs to one of the safer ones in recent times. Even though the job seems safer now, the mix of danger and drama keeps bringing new challenges. From waves to screen, the crab fishermen have also organized themselves into a formal group called the Alaska Bering Sea Crabbers. This association represents the interests of crab fisheries across the Bering Sea and Aleutian Islands, advocating for safety and sustainability. The organization plays a crucial role in fostering a safer working environment for its members through advocacy and shared standards. The TV show Deadliest Catch has gained international fame, depicting the lives of these crab fishermen. Interestingly, the show uses different voice actors for different regions to make the narration more relatable to international audiences. In the United States, Mike Rowe is the familiar voice of the series, while in the United Kingdom and Malaysia, viewers hear Bill Petrie and Nassar Balkan, respectively. This strategy of using local voices helps connect the global audience more personally with the show, enhancing its appeal and accessibility. Behind every filmed wave, there's a story of hard work and perseverance. Filming Deadliest Catch is a formidable challenge in itself. Cameras and other filming equipment are frequently damaged or destroyed by the harsh conditions at sea, including saltwater spray and strong winds. Each season, the production team sifts through about 30,000 hours of footage to craft the compelling episodes that audiences enjoy. The process of selecting the right moments to tell a coherent and engaging story involves immense effort and skill from the camera crews and editors, showcasing their dedication and the tough realities of their job. This portrayal of crab fishermen serves to highlight their dual role as both brave adventurers confronting the dangerous seas and as individuals working under greatly improved conditions. It underscores the progress made in the industry and the ongoing challenges, providing viewers with a realistic glimpse into the lives of those who venture into the cold, unforgiving waters of the Bering Sea to earn their living. In the television series Deadliest Catch, it appears there's a formula at play. Each season needs a villain. The producers at Discovery Channel seem intent on crafting a storyline of good versus evil, even though all the fishermen are essentially after the same prize: crabs. This narrative choice directs viewers to favor certain characters while disliking others, adding an extra layer of drama to the real challenges of crab fishing. The show's directors carefully choose and shape the characters they want to be seen as villains. They don't just pick people for these roles, they mold them to fit the narrative, adding to the drama and intrigue of the show. This manipulation of characters and events keeps viewers hooked, but it also raises questions about the authenticity of what is being portrayed. Despite these dramatizations, the real conditions and dangers these fishermen face remain a stark reality. At first, Captain Keith Colburn was seen as the bad guy on the show. Then, Elliot Neese took over as the new villain. The audience and the people who made the show called him public enemy number one. This change made the show even more interesting. The drama didn't just stay with what happened at sea. The Hillstrand brothers, who used to be liked a lot by viewers, left the show quickly because they had a big fight with the Discovery Channel. This fight started because of a new show they tried to make called Hillstranded. At first, making this show seemed like a good idea, but then things went wrong when they were editing it. Things got worse when the channel wanted them to come back and do more talking for the show, which led to a lawsuit for $3 million. This lawsuit made the brothers and their friend, Captain Sig Hansen, decide to leave the show for good. The drama on TV is nothing compared to the real-life troubles these fishermen face once the cameras are off. Personal battles beyond the crashing waves. Elliot Neese's time on the show shows how tough life can be compared to how it's shown on TV. He was known for getting into a lot of fights, which made the show full of tension for 5 seasons. His sudden leave in the 11th season confused everyone. Later, everyone found out he was dealing with addiction issues and had to go to rehab. Neese's struggle with getting better and then falling back into old habits shows the tough side of getting famous from being on a reality TV show. Even though he had times when he was doing well, he kept facing big problems, which ended with him getting a sentence of 2.5 years in prison in 2022 for being involved in illegal activities. People had different feelings about Neese's problems after the show. Some felt bad for him, while others thought he just kept making his life worse. His story isn't just about him, it shows how being famous from a reality TV show can really affect someone's life. The show Deadliest Catch is exciting to watch, but it also has a big impact on the real lives of the people shown as characters. The mix of drama on the screen and real problems shows the tough and often sad truth about mixing life with entertainment. Deadliest Catch isn't just about the exciting parts of fighting the sea, it's mainly about the hard lives of fishermen and the personal sad events that happened to them. For example, the show's director, Joseph McMahon, was shockingly shot right outside his home. He went out because he heard a weird noise, but then he was eliminated suddenly, and the person who shot him then took his own life. This left everyone wondering and sad. Another sad event from the show involves Nick McGlashan, who was on the Summer Bay ship and was in 78 episodes. His life was tough because he struggled with addiction, even though he started fishing when he was only 13 in the tough Bering Sea. His great fishing skills couldn't protect him from his substance problems, which ended up eliminating him in a hotel room in Nashville when he was only 33 years old. His death was a shock to his family and fans, and they all said how sad they were, including Captain Bill and McGlashan's sister Lydia. There's more sad news as Neese is dealing with a big legal problem that could end up with him being in prison for up to 40 years. Despite this scary future, he hasn't said much about it on social media. The show doesn't just talk about the dangers of bad weather or risky seas. It also shows how tough the mental and emotional challenges are for the crew, often leading to big personal problems. These stories aren't just about surviving nature. They're also about fighting personal demons and sudden sad events that change lives forever. Beyond the loud sounds of the ocean, personal fights continue. Contrary to the risky life shown on TV, getting a fishing license seems really simple, which makes it seem like not everyone who goes to sea is ready for it. This simple way to get a license is as dangerous as the sea's risks, because the real dangers and skills needed to handle these rough waters are much more serious than people might think when they get their license. Becoming a fisherman in Alaska might look easy. You pay $200 for a license, and you're set. But if you were in a scary situation at sea, wouldn't you want someone who really knows what they're doing to be with you? The cost to start might be low, but the real value should be in having the right training and experience. Sig Hansen from the Discovery Channel's Deadliest Catch shows what life as an Alaskan fisherman is really like. His life at sea makes for good TV, but his health problems show a tougher reality. At the start of the 15th season, he told everyone he had a slight heart attack, something his crew didn't know about. This wasn't his first heart attack. He had another one on camera in 2016 while he was on the Northwestern. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Hansen explained how a small problem, like a sinus infection, got worse because of the antibiotics he took. While he was driving in Seattle with his wife, his condition got really bad, and they had to go to the hospital quickly. Is risking lives for crab worth the catch, or should the dangers of Deadliest Catch make us rethink these ventures? Let us know your thoughts, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.